Hello, I'm Jonathan. I'm part of the Experience Ibogaine team. I'm an EMT and I'm also a 5-MeO DMT facilitator. Today, we'll go over some questions about how the 5-MeO DMT session will go and what can 5-MeO DMT do for you. 5-MeO-DMT is a molecule that contains dimethyltryptamine. There's different types of dimethyltryptamines, but this kind is found on a toad down in the desert of Sonora, Mexico, and part of the desert of Arizona. This toad has a glands on their legs and arms that when you squeeze the glands, a liquid comes out, and once it's dry, it's ready to be used with different purposes. It can be recreational purposes, educational, or healing, therapeutic. There's a molecule, there's a substance, and it's up to you how you wanna perform or do, or what's the intention for you to work with the medicine. DMT is safe. It's a very friendly molecule, and I think for the most part everyone can do it. I just think that you just have to make sure that you are medically approved, that you can actually do it, that you don't have any medical conditions going on like a heart disease or a mental illness. I think the difference between regular DMT and 5-MeO DMT it's a big difference. I tried NN-DMT before, which is the most known DMT, I think. To me, it was very visual. I think it goes more, to me, in my opinion, I think it's more of a recreational substance. When 5-MeO DMT, it's got more, it's got a highly therapeutic benefits that can offer to you. 5-MeO DMT is administered. We have to use combustion to do it, and we'll use a non-treated device when we do it. You'll smoke it. You'll just do a big and long inhalation, and then instantly within seconds you'll feel how the molecule is working on your body. At first you'll probably feel your heartbeat racing along with your breath. You can start having short breaths, like, and then you feel your heart beating fast, but that's only for the first 2 minutes, 5 minutes. After 5 minutes you'll start appreciating what the real medicine is with a full spectrum. I think that when you smoke DMT, 5-MeO DMT, so for the most times, people have this experience of dying. They feel like they are dying somehow. I've experienced it. You just feel like you're dying. Everything you know, the concept you have of yourself, about this life, your possessions, the goals or desires you have in this life, or sometimes not just that, sometimes what you are holding on to this life, like the anger, the sadness, the grief. Sometimes we don't want to let go of that, and it's hard. But 5-MeO DMT somehow just puts you in the line where it's up to you to decide if you want to go farther or just remain there. Sometimes to cross that line is when you have to let go, and that's when you are able to feel the really intense part of this journey, where you feel like you're dying, and it's just a metaphorically way to say it. Once you cross that line, you feel like you have been liberated from everything. Like you start from zero, a fresh new start. You just feel very humble. You feel this unconditional love, a connection with everything around you, everything that surrounds you. It all just becomes one, and that one is you. How do I set my intention? I think that you should give yourself a time for yourself. Like give yourself a day, walk around the park, walk around down the street, or just stay in your bedroom. But think about why. Why do you want to do 5-MeO DMT? And also think about if you're ready. Or if you don't want to have an intention, or if you're just open to do it, just do it. But you have to know if you're ready. DMT lasts between 30 minutes and 40 minutes. That's the trip journey. But the whole thing takes about an hour and a half, sometimes an hour and 30 minutes. And it takes that long because since the minute I come to your room, we have a little talk about how the ceremony will go. I'll give you a brief explanation of how we will perform the ceremony, and it's the time is relative. I mean, for me, it can be an hour and a half, and the perception you have of the time can be a minute, it can be 5 minutes, it can be perceived differently. So sometimes it takes about, in general, like an hour and a half. Most people have said that they feel releasement. They feel the releasement, they feel enlightenment, they feel like they have a fresh new life. My opinion, in my personal opinion, with this medicine, when I tried it, I felt like my anxiety was gone. I went to smoking a pack of cigarettes to not having any cigarettes in a matter of 24 hours after my DMT, 5-MeO DMT session. So I think the expectations are high, but you have to be committed to yourself and stick to the process, because sometimes after smoking, sometimes you can hold on to certain emotions like anger, sadness, joy, peace. And the reason you're holding on to these emotions, ideas, or thoughts, it's because the 5-MeO DMT, this medicine, have brought this awareness of these emotions that already reside inside of you, in order for you to feel them and work on it, and be able to integrate it and work with your own process, stick to the process, just be humble with yourself, be kind to yourself, and eventually the pieces will come up together, and you'll have completely understanding of how things went in your life, or are going in your life right now. We incorporate 5-MeO DMT with after you do Ibogaine here at Experience Ibogaine, because we highly believe in the therapeutic potential that 5-MeO DMT can bring to you. You will be able to have completely understanding of how things went into your Ibogaine treatments, and be able to move on in your life. You don't have to pay more to do 5-MeO DMT here at Experience Ibogaine. Once you come here, it is included with your Ibogaine treatments. I'll gladly be here for you. I'll be respectfully serving the medicine, and help you through the process. I'd like to say that I feel very humble to be able to work with this medicine, because it's been very helpful to me. I have my own process with the medicine, and after a few years of working on an Ibogaine clinic here at Experience Ibogaine, I end up facilitating, serving this medicine. At first, it was something that I was afraid, because it's a psychedelic, it's a strong experience. But I've been working with this medicine for the last 5 years. I've been serving 5-MeO DMT for the last 5 years, and I've been on the Ibogaine field for 10 years now. I think that incorporating 5-MeO DMT to an Ibogaine treatment, it is important, because it's got this energy that it just embraces all of you, and it makes you feel safe, loved, and complete. So if you have the opportunity to do it, just think about if you're ready, and most importantly, make sure that you are medically supervised, because you need a guide that takes you through the process. The way we'll perform the ceremony here, we'll start with a small dose, and then eventually, after 5 or 10 minutes, I'll ask you how you're doing, how you're feeling, what are you experiencing at the moment, and then based on that, based on a brief talk that we'll have, I'll decide how much I'll give you and how long between each dose. And once you feel complete, once you feel this liberation, I think you'll know that you are done.